So I've been studying Islam for a few months now, and I came across a verse that, no joke, by itself refutes Islam. And before you click
by itself refute Islam. So the day have come when someone finally, after so long in human history, someone finally managed to find a verse in the Quran that by itself refute Islam. I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
away from this video thinking that this is just going to be like another low-level polemical video against Islam, think again. This verse.
Alright, so he says, he's putting the guarantee this is not a low-level argument that you find many places.
That we'll be looking at today has very serious issues at the scholarly level. That's the level that we'll be looking at today. So if you're ready for that, buckle up. And if you're a Muslim, I want you to watch this entire video. Before we get to the verse, let me back up a second.
Why, if only you are Muslim, you should watch the entire video?
And just tell you a little bit of the background. So I was originally looking for verses in the Quran that discuss the Trinity, just to like kind of see what it says. I'm a Trinitarian. Does it refute my beliefs? That's when I came across Surah 5. Surah 573.
What's the premise then? Because he's trying to find verse about the Trinity. And then does the Quran refute the Trinity? But how does it work? Because if you go to any book and it criticizes Christian Trinity, then what does it do? Because if that book is a fictional book, then why does it matter? And if the book can be proven to be word of God and it teaches something that is not the Trinity, then by itself it doesn't need to mention anything about Trinity. It's false, right?
Says, they disbelieve those who say God is the third of three, but there is no deity except the one God. If they do not refrain from what they say, a painful torment will befall those among them who disbelieve. So right off the bat, this verse seems to get the Trinity like wrong.
Okay, so I believe this God is translation of Allah, right? God is translation of Allah, meaning because this is an English translation, right? So let me check. So 573. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم لقد كفر الذين قالوا إن الله ثالث ثلاثة. So those who say إن الله, indeed Allah, ثالث ثلاثة, one third of the three, right?
They disbelieve those who say God is the third of three.
So if he is going to continue on based on how he understand God is one of the three, then that will give a totally different idea of discussion compared to when you read where is it, 73, Inna Allah thalithu thalatha, right? Because Allah is one of the three, right? So that can be one issue. So let's see how he do it here.
But there is no deity except the one God. If they do not refrain from what they say, a painful torment.
Let me see. Okay. But there's no deity except the one God. Okay. وَمَا مِنْ إِلَهٍ إِلَّا وَمَا مِنْ إِلَهٍ إِلَّا إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ. Okay, that is interesting. Okay, should I find a way to put this Quranic verse on screen? So this is 573. So this is the verse. لقد كفر الذين قالوا إن الله ثالث ثلاثة وما من إله إلا إله واحد. So note that there's two words used in this verse, Allah and Ilah. But in his video, let me see, where is his video? God, and then one God, the one God, right? So if you are discussing, trying to dissect this verse based on the translation, when the original word is two different words, Allah and Ilah, while your translation is God and God, you might miss something from the actual verse, right? So this is where when Muslims say that we should refer to the Quran itself in its original language, this is where we are not just pushing away those who do not read Arabic or do not know how to refer to the Arabic text, but because what Allah said is something, and then something tend to be missing in the translation, and then you depend on the translation to make a point or to make a conclusion when something is missing there. That's the issue is. It's not that you cannot read the translation, because it gives a lot of guidance already, right? Meaning the translation, even despite something missing, etc., the general guidance, etc., you would get that. But when you want to put a scholarly discussion and not going back to the actual text, that's where the issue is, right? The conclusion might miss out something that can be fatally flawed. For example, what is going on here, right? So I'm not hearing him yet, but because just looking at the translation and the way it is going, it might actually be due to translation issue.
The third of three, but there is no deity except the one God. If they do not refrain from what they say, a painful torment will befall those among them who disbelieve. So right off the bat, this verse seems to get the Trinity like wrong. Like it seems to be critiquing something like tritheism, so basically like polytheism. It's not actually attacking the Trinity. Look back at the verse here. It says that the disbelievers say Allah is the third of three. Third of three what? The next sentence tells us there is no God except one God. So then the verse is saying that Allah is not the third of three gods, which is a rejection of tritheism. Okay, so this verse isn't.
So if you notice, the logic that he have is based on the understanding of what he have there, right? So if so it depends, right? It depends going back. If, for example, because in terms of how to say, in terms of Arabic speaking Christians, right, how would they refer? Is it because I know is it because some Christians says this as such, right? Allahu Ab, Allahu Ibn. I forgot the term because some Arab Christian have commented before. Allahu Ruhul Qudus, or something like that. So it's Allah the Father, Allah the Son, and Allah the Spirits, something like that. Or do Christian actually says no, Allah and then the Son, the Word, etc., right? Because some Christian actually mention it as such, right? That's Allah, that's His Word, and then His Spirit. Hence, that's one of the three. So for those who have that narrative, that Quranic verse match exactly what they are saying, because I find back that okay, I'm not prepared to this because all my reaction videos is just I have limited time. I cannot prepare anything, so it's just record, watch, react, right? So that's why it goes like this, right? It's because I'm not prepared to address the points until I heard it for the first time. So I'll try to make a different video afterwards when I find that comment where the Christian actually says, when he's defending Trinity, he says, even the Quran says there's Allah, there's the word of Allah, and there's the Ruh of Allah, right? So we will see the verse itself, but let's see his argument first. So from that perspective, it's Allah, the word, and Ruh. So that's one of three, right? So from that narrative of Christian that I've met before, the verse match exactly what they're saying. But from this guy's perspective, his mindset have Allah is one God and then there's another two God. Obviously, he's going to conclude that this verse is portraying something else, right? So that what I can get from here now.
Actually attacking the Trinity, it's attacking a straw man. Okay, but I want to be as charitable as possible. Let's just give this verse the benefit of the doubt. And also, some scholars argue that this verse isn't even attacking a specific model of the Trinity. It's just trying to like target the view generally. Now, personally, I find that view kind of implausible, but again, let's just give them the benefit of the doubt here that this verse isn't straw manning the Trinity. Good. Let's go ahead and keep reading. Verse 74, will they not repent to God and ask his forgiveness? God is forgiving and merciful. And then we get to verse 75, which is what this video is about. The Messiah, son of Mary, was only a messenger, before whom other messengers had passed away, and his mother was a woman of truth. They both used to eat food. Note how we make clear the revelations to them, then note how deluded they are. The part...
Okay, let's just read or recite the verse itself first, so that I can actually get the original verse when we will be discussing, right? So 75. Auzubillah minasyaitonir rajim. Mal masihu ibnu Maryam illa rasulun qad khalat min qablihi ar-rusul wa ummuhu siddiqah kana ya'kulani at-ta'am انظر كيف نبين لهم الآيات ثم انظر أنا يؤفكون. Alright, so Mal Masih, so here the Messiah, right? Ibn Maryam, the son of Mary, illa Rasul, except for a messenger. Qad khalat, have come, min qabl, from before, ar-rusul, messengers. Wa ummuhu siddiqah, and his mother, okay. Kana yakulani, so there's two, the verse is in two. Ta'am, both of them eat food, alright. Unzur kaifa nubayyinu lahum, see how we make proof upon them al-ayat, the ayat. Summa unzuru kaifa yufakun. Okay, how do you do that? Alright.
Of verse 75 that's so problematic to the point that I'm convinced it actually refutes Islam is the part where it says they both ate food. The next line makes it clear that this is intended as some kind of like argument against a particular view held among Christians during the time of Muhammad. That's what the rest of this video will be focused on. I'm going to give 3 possible interpretations of this verse, then go through and show how each possibility has damning consequences for Islam. And again, I'll be appealing to contemporary scholarship to make my case. So as I say, the line, they both ate food, is supposed to refute something, right? The next line sort of triumphantly states that this makes something clear, but the question is what? What is it refuting? What is so clear after we understand that Jesus and Mary ate food? As I say, there are really only 3 options that exist in the literature. Before we get to the options, we should note that this verse kind of puts Jesus and Mary side by side, almost as if they're like equally involved in the same theological issue. So the verse basically wants to...
Okay, we'll go back about that, but that is his interpretation of the verse, right? That is his interpretation. We will go back exactly to the verse.
Point out something it thinks that both of them, Jesus and Mary, have in common. And the fact that the same argument is used against both Jesus and Mary, they both ate food, implies an equation between the two, which is kind of strange to begin with in the first place.
Again, that is his understanding of the verse, and then he finds his understanding strange, not the verse itself actually.
But in any case, if the Quran is critiquing Christian beliefs, it seems to be saying that whatever theological error applies to Jesus also applies to Mary. So let's take a look at the interpretive option.
Okay, he mentioned earlier about the issue of straw man, but now he is building interpretation upon interpretation, and it seems that he will be attacking this interpretation. Doesn't that makes the whole thing straw man? But I'm not judging before we go to the argument, but it seems to be directing in that way.
Before us, I'll also quickly note that I won't really be arguing which interpretation is correct because they all face extremely serious problems. All right, option 1, Jesus and Mary are both members of the Trinity. That's option 1. Option 2, Jesus and Mary are equally divine. Option 3, Jesus and Mary are both incorruptible. Now, if you've never heard that term before, it just means like immune to bodily decay, but I'll be breaking that down a little bit further as we get to that section.
Wait, what?
In just a couple of minutes, so stay tuned. So my contention is that all 3 options crash and burn under 2 major issues.
Alright, his whole video after this will be based on these 3 interpretive options. Interesting. Meaning, if this is not the definition of strawman, I don't know what it is. This is very interesting. I was joyful there will be some scholarly good argument against the Quran, but it is argument against his mind on how he understands the verse, not argument against the Quran. Because how do you actually get this? And he's mentioned that there's only 3 options from the verse. When I read the verse, we have read the verse, it doesn't occur at all this is the only 3 option. Even this is the option that is at the forefront. That is interesting. Okay, let's just use his screenshot here, right? The Messiah, son of Mary. Okay, I'm not sure whether. Okay, let me pull back that verse. I'm not sure whether English language capture the relationship word because it's translated as such, right? He's putting it as if Mary or Maryam is being placed on par with Jesus in the context of the discussion, right? But Mal Masih Ibn Maryam, No, son of Mary. So that's the operative word, right? So what is emphasized here is he is the son of Mary, right? He's the son of Mary. I'm not sure whether you understand that point. I mean, that's the relationship, right? That's the first relationship, because he's trying to depict that there's what's the three option just now? The holy. Okay, let me. Okay. So on the translation, we'll use that screenshot, that screen, right? Because what he is trying to put as if Mary is both either he's trying to force this three interpretive option, right? Whether Mary is one of the Trinity, or Mary is also divine or incorruptible, right? But here the issue is Al-Masih ibn Maryam. So the relationship, he's the son of Mary. So that, it's still about Jesus being the son of Mary. Okay, that's number one. Illa Rasulun. So again, Rasul is not about Mary, it's about Jesus, right? Al-Masih, Isa alayhi salam. Right? So he's a messenger. Qad khalat min qablihi rusul. And he's not special in the sense that he's one of prophets from long line of prophets that have come before him. Wa ummuhu, and his mother is a truthful mother. Okay, right. So, and his mother. So he is, how to say, he is a son of his mother, right? And then okay, kana yakulani, and they both eat food. So not only him being a human being born out of human being, a woman, not only him, just a messenger, just like all the previous messenger, he also eat food, and his mother eat food, right? So the argument is about how they are human being. Him as a human being born, you know for a fact, no Christian deny this, right? You know for a fact that Jesus was born from a human being. Human being being born from human being. He eat food just like his mother eat food, right? And you know his mother is a human being, right? Or you think that it's something else, right? So I'm not sure, because he built upon a case, the three cases, right? And then it seems that he will tear down these cases. Any of this option is false. Hence, Islam is false. And hence, he says, this verse in itself, by itself, okay, let's see what he says at the beginning. I don't want to misquote him.
So I've been studying Islam for a few months now, and I came across a verse that, no joke, by itself refutes Islam. And before you click away,
by itself, not by itself, that verse combined with your own mind and your own understanding, by that understanding of yours, what is being refuted is the three operative option, right? What's the meaning? Three interpretive options. What you are tearing down is the three interpretive options, right? So I'm not, okay, if you say, why don't you hear the argument? But the argument is going to tear down the three options. That has nothing to do with the verse. So even if he successfully tear down the three options, it has nothing to do with the verse. It's a so sad moment. I was waiting for a good video, hoping for a good argument. Unfortunately, we don't even get to the argument, because the problem statement in itself is problematic. I'm disappointed. Anyway, so what to do? Maybe it's hope that I never will come across any good argument against the Quran. As someone who like discourse, intellectual discourse, it's not that I'm hoping that the Quran is false, but if something is indeed false, I'm hoping that it can be shown to be false, right? It goes for whatever, right? But if something is indeed true, then obviously you cannot find any faults in it. So at least there's some good argument that can be discussed. I'm happy, right? But when he built up the video as if they would be a good argument, but unfortunately it's so lousy. Because as a lecturer, if a student build up like a thesis, and then the problem is at the problem statement, how he built up the problem statement, and then he says he answered the problem statement, but the problem statement is totally flawed, it crumbled down there. It's such a disappointment, right? So this is how it feels, right? Anyway, so what do you think? Thank you for watching. See you next time.